Welcome into the Arrowhead Addict halftime show. My name is Bryce Carter. Thank you so much for joining us. A very encouraging first half of football for the Chiefs as they take on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Your Kansas City Chiefs lead the Jags 14-7 at the half in honestly what could be described as a half that really the only thing that was slowing the Chiefs down offensively and defensively were themselves. The Jaguars were able to string together a touchdown drive there at the end of the half. Chiefs, unfortunately, were not able to capitalize on a double dip situation there. The Chiefs will be getting the ball after half. So look for more from the offense there in the second half. As you hop in the stream, hop in the channel, leave a comment, like and subscribe this video, share. We do this every halftime. We do this every pregame. Instead of listening to Booger McFarlane or whoever else is talking on ESPN at the pregame, at the halftime, come join us in Chiefs Kingdom, talk about the game, and celebrate what the Chiefs are doing here in the first half. Coming into this game, we talked a lot about how this game was kind of a measuring stick for the Jaguars. They're a team that's 3-1. They're trying to reinvigorate a culture there. That division is wide open, although the Colts are looking very good. The Texans were kind of the perceived heavy favorite in that division, and they've got a 1-1 quarterback and a guy who has done a lot of great things with a 1-1 quarterback, Baker Mayfield, in Tampa Bay, now trying to do that with Trevor Lawrence here. Liam Cohen came into Kansas City last year without Mike Evans, without Chris Godwin, and took the Chiefs into overtime in Arrowhead with the Buccaneers as the OC. It was important for the Chiefs to come out and start hot, and you couldn't ask for a much better start from the Chiefs as they defer the kick and they get a stop, a 3-and-out right away. Then the Chiefs march right down the field and score a touchdown. Or excuse me, no, they start marching down the field, and then you get a penalty that I think some people will probably blame Juwan Taylor, but ultimately Juwan Taylor was not at fault there. That's actually the wide receiver. Someone was not up on the line of the scrimmage. You cannot have your tackle uncovered on the line of scrimmage. So that was actually a wide receiver error. I think it was Tyquan Thornton. But then the defense comes out, gets another stop. Chiefs march right down the field. Quite honestly, the Chiefs offense has looked excellent in this game. They look explosive. The run game is working. The passing game is working. Something that we talked about on the pregame show is that the Jacksonville Jaguars play zone defense at the fourth highest rate in the NFL. And the Chiefs, frankly, they tend to carve up zone defense. And one of the familiar suspects in that has been Travis Kelce, who has been fed early and often in this game, scored a touchdown. Kind of running down the stat sheet here. Big day for Tyquan Thornton again. 3 receptions for 90 yards here in the first half, averaging a cool 30 yards a catch. That'll do. You saw the Jaguars, and what I honestly thought might have been one of the biggest sequences in this game. They come out, they show a cover zero blitz. Basically, you've got man on man on the back end. You're just hoping that your corners hold up. You're bringing all the dogs, engage 8, and the Chiefs call a timeout because they want to talk it over. The Jaguars come out and they run that exact same blitz. So not only did they show their hand, they show it pre-snap again and bring it. So that gives Mahomes the option. And I think the chemistry and the trust between Tyquan Thornton and Patrick Mahomes that we've seen growing since up in St. Joe really manifested there. And you saw Tyquan Thornton come back to the ball, shades of kind of the play with Wasp in the 2019 Super Bowl, really, really kind of come through. And honestly, that was kind of the floodgates open. You saw Brashard Smith. Hey, I don't know. I'm not sure what it is in the chat right now. This has happened before the Grossi raid, but shout out to y'all. This is incredible. Whatever the Grossi raid is, it's happened before. Shout out my guy Grossi. Shout out to all the people in the chat. Go Chiefs. Chiefs offense is looking excellent. And really, you go to the drive that the Jaguars led down the field. You get a DPI that was questionable by Christian Watson or Jalen Watson, excuse me. He falls down and kind of turns into they're okay. They're Vikings fans. Well, you know what, Minnesota people, they're good people. Okay, we're the Midwesterners. We got to stay together. So shout out to all the Vikings fans in the chat. Grossi raid, absolutely love it. Great to see it. Tom from the Packers. Well, my good friend's a Packers fan, so love the Packers too. Love the way that organization is built. So, getting back to the Chiefs here, they really had an opportunity there to shut down the Jaguars. They were able to string together basically a touchdown drive with a questionable DPI call on Jalen Watson, and then an interception that maybe 3 or 4 Chiefs could have picked off, but ends up falling to the ground in a tip drill. I mean, the Jacksonville Jaguars, they have talent on that team. They've been picking high in the top end of the draft for a really long time. So no surprise that there is some talent there. And like we said, we know that Liam Cohen can scheme it. The pass protection has looked really good. Really, again, going back to the thing that's really just shut down the Chiefs offense is their own mistakes. They've had a couple of penalties, like we talked about with that Juwan Taylor uncovered alignment issue. And then also you have that play where Josh Hines-Allen is just not blocked. And that looked like a miscommunication. If you saw kind of the cable cam all 22 view that they showed, Josh Simmons was going up to the second level looking for someone to block. He was looking for work. So I do not think that was necessarily Josh Simmons' fault in that instance. I think that whether that was a miscommunication or a protection issue, not sure. But something definitely happened there. That was another example, that Xavier Worthy tackle for a loss. Although, shout out to, if you follow this account on Twitter, Coach Dan Casey does great film work. He's been really big on the connection between the Chiefs and Steve Sarkisian. They run that orbit spinner motion there. That's such a slick play. They fake the handoff on the inside, then he turns around. Patrick Mahomes turns around, acts like he's handing it to Jalen Reynolds, then spins around again, tosses it to Xavier Worthy. That's the second time they run that. They ran against the Bills last year. Really cool motion here. So get into the second half. The Chiefs weren't able to capitalize on their double dip opportunity. So they get the ball back after half. Let's just shut down any opportunity for momentum here, right? Let's have the Chiefs come down here, march down the field. We've seen with this offense, I think the pass protection has looked great. This is a defensive line. Obviously, they're missing one of the former number 1 overall pick and Trayvon Walker, but Josh Hines-Allen is still a very good pass rusher. Eric Armstead, though a veteran, is still one of the better interior defensive linemen, and they've done a great job of shutting that down. The receivers are looking open. Tyquan Thornton's having a day. Hollywood Brown is breaking tackles. I mean, look, I don't want to sound arrogant, but if the shoe fits, when Kareem Hunt busted a 33-yard run, this game was over. It felt over. And maybe I will very much regret those words. But with that, you just don't see that happen very much. Kareem Hunt has got about as much burst as I do. So shout out to him. Shout out to Slothy in the chat, gifting 5 Arrowhead Addict subs. The chat is incredible right now. So thank you to all of you guys from Tom Grossi, the NFC North folks. We will have to check that out. Maybe do a collab the next time the Chiefs play an NFC member. Heading into the second half, the other thing is they've got to do a little bit better job on Brian Thomas Jr. We talked about it in the chat or in the pregame that Brian Thomas Jr. hasn't really gotten going this year. He's not even the leading receiver on the team. That was Britton Strange. Looks like Jalen Watson's mostly been tasked with doing that, while Trent McDuffie's kind of getting coverage on everyone else, whether that be Diami Brown, Travis Hunter. They've got to continue to get a little bit more coverage shaded over to Brian Thomas Jr. because he is so dynamic. And I think the Chiefs have really done a great job of game scripting the Jaguars running game out of this. So we've seen them get a few good chunk gains, but between Travis Etienne and Bashal Tutin, they've really just shut down the Chiefs run game. Or the Jaguars run game. And that's great to see. Making this offense one-dimensional, it's something that you want to do. And you saw it there at the end of half. The Jaguars had an opportunity to go down and score, and it kind of just fell apart. Whenever you get them into pass-only situations, that's where Trevor Lawrence is going to struggle. Heading into the second half, let me know who you think needs to step up in the second half. I want to call out a few players who had a great first half. Nick Bolton. We talked pregame that we thought this could be a Nick Bolton game because of the Jaguars run game. They don't utilize a lot of heavy personnel in the run game. They don't have they don't really use fullback formations. Nick Bolton not only making an impact in the run game, but also having a big impact in the pass game. He tipped a pass that could have been a big chunk game to Diami Brown. Also strip sacking Trevor Lawrence here. I'll take credit here. Sitting here watching the game with my brother-in-law upstairs. It's 4th and 1, and I say, Trevor Lawrence does this thing where he sticks the ball over the goal line. Super dangerous. Love to see him get punished for that. And sure enough, Nick Bolton goes and looks for that ball. I'm not even sure what Troy Aikman is going on about there, where he's saying that he thinks that was a 50-50 call. It's very clearly a fumble. I'm not sure if Troy Aikman's still mad at Josh Briscoe from like 5 years ago, whenever he called him out saying that Mahomes is going to surpass him in touchdown pass really quick. I'm not sure, but that was very, very strange. This is usually how these games go when it comes to officiating. It's a 50-50 proposition. The Chiefs kind of got a call go their way there. with that pick play, that's a subjective call. That DPI that extended that Jaguars drive, I think that was not a DPI. So you get the calls to go for you or don't, right? Like, what do you do when you get those calls? Take advantage of them, or do you punt? Do you take a sack? Ultimately, I'm not sure that that's going to be the deciding factor in this game or remotely close, but we shall see. Nick Bolton had a great half. Shout out to Jaden Hicks, also coming downhill on that Trevor Lawrence thing. It would have been really easy for him to pull up there and just let Trevor Lawrence walk in there and to seal that off on the back end. A great read by him. Again, Tyquan Thornton, just a revelation, right? Like you watch, Patriots had a really good game last night. Stephon Diggs, Drake May, like how much would they love to have this guy stretching the field for them? Shout out to Brett Veach for getting him on this roster and believing in him and the chemistry. And it feels like the Chiefs have 3 good wide receivers right now. And oh, by the way, Rashee Rice is still not on the field. So exciting things to come here. Great work by the offensive line. Hopefully that you continue to see that. It feels like there has been virtually no pressure. Mahomes has been unabated in the pocket. And, we'll shout out Patrick Mahomes too, because he was cooking. They go 97 yards right down the field, hot knife through butter. It seemed easy. So let's hope we continue to see that here in the second half. This is going to be it for the halftime show. Drop your final score predictions if you want to. We're sitting at 14-7. I'm gonna go. Let's see, 24-13. I say the Jaguars, they don't find the end zone again. A couple of field goals here, 24-13. This feels like a game that the Chiefs, EPA-wise, DVOA-wise, the offense is going to grade out really good, but they may slow down a little bit in the red zone, and they may not honestly need to go full out the second half here. So we've seen Trevor Lawrence also have a couple of almost interceptions here. So maybe that is something that's going to change the tide here. So thank you guys for joining the chat. The chat's been electric. Let's do it again afterwards, whether we're celebrating or sobbing. Myself, Adam Bess, Sterling Holmes, Patrick Allen will be here celebrating, hopefully, a Chiefs victory. So bring a drink. Let's toast to the Chiefs, and we'll be hanging out afterwards as soon as the game is over. Thank you guys for joining me. And as always, go Chiefs.